in a pretty little pond surrounded by tall green reeds and colorful flowers, there lived a fluffy, yellow duckling named Waddles. A Waddles had tiny orange feet that went pat, pat when walking, and soft yellow feathers that went swoosh, swoosh in the breeze. Every morning, when the sun peeked over the pond, Waddles would stretch his little wings. Can you stretch your arms too? Stretch up high. Then Waddles would shake his tail feathers. Wiggle, wiggle. Can you wiggle too? Quack, quack. Went Waddles, swimming in happy circles. Round and round he went, making tiny ripples in the water. Splash, splash. Every morning. And Waddles loved to eat delicious bread crumbs for breakfast. The bread crumbs were his favorite. Crunchy and yummy. Munch. One sunny day, when the flowers were all blooming, a friendly old man with a big smile came walking to the pond. Hit, pit, pat, went his feet on the path. He wore a bright red hat and carried a brown paper bag. Good morning, little duck, he said with a jolly voice. I brought something special for you today. And he reached into his paper bag. Wah. Crinkle, crinkle went the bag, and out came lots and lots of bread crumbs. They fell into the water like tiny raindrops. Ouch! Plip, plop, plip, plop. Waddles was so excited. His little heart went thump, thump. Can you pat your chest like a heartbeat? A splash, splash. Waddles rushed to eat them all up. The breadcrumbs were floating everywhere, like little boats on the water. But then, pit, pat, pit, pat, pit, pat. What was that sound? Let's listen carefully. Oh, 3 tiny baby ducklings came swimming by. They were smaller than Waddles, with fuzzy brown feathers. Their tiny feet went up to paddle, paddle, paddle in the water. They looked so hungry. Their little tummies went grumble, grumble. Et peep, peep. They went sadly. A foreign Waddles stopped munching and looked at the bread crumbs floating on the water. There were still so many, enough for a feast. Well, then Waddles looked at the hungry little ducklings. Their eyes were big and round like little buttons. Or something felt funny in Waddles' heart. It felt like a warm, gentle squeeze. Can you give yourself a gentle hug? Waddles thought and thought. His head went tilt, tilt from side to side. Can you tilt your head like Waddles? Then, and Waddles had a wonderful idea. Would you like some breadcrumbs? Asked Waddles. Quack, quack, quack. Come and eat with me. There's plenty for everyone. The little ducklings' eyes lit up like tiny stars. Peep, 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 they said happily. Honestly, their little feet went paddle, paddle, paddle faster. They all swam together in a circle, like a happy duck family. eating breadcrumbs and playing in the water. Splash, splash. Giggle, giggle, peep. What fun they had. Nah. They played follow the leader, with Waddles in front, a quack quack, and the ducklings behind. Peep, peep, peep. They made tiny waves with their feet and watched the bread crumbs bounce up and down. Darn, son. Like they were dancing on the water. The friendly old man watched from the path, his eyes twinkling with joy. As he saw all the happy ducks playing together. From that day on, Waddles always shared breakfast with his new friends. One thing, because sharing makes everyone's heart feel warm and happy. Can you feel the happiness in your heart? And every morning, once nine vang on, if you visit the pretty little pond, you'll hear the happy sounds of friends playing together. Splash, splash, splash. A quack, quack, quack. Peep, peep, peep. A swimming and sharing and playing all day. Goo, Inber. In their pretty little pond surrounded by flowers, where friendship makes every day special.